Tonight, Hollywood hailed her as the perfect 10. Bo Derek, 21 years later, do you believe this? Joins me in L.A. for the full hour. We'll take your calls next on Larry King Live. Good evening. Bo Derek is our special guest tonight. She hosts the Hollywood Fashion Machine on AMC. We'll talk about that and lots of other things. She's our guest for the full hour, and later we'll take your phone calls. We have not talked about it publicly since his death, so let's start with that. John, your late husband, actor, director, would have been, well, it's 2 years now, right? May would have been 2 years. Yes. Was that surprising? Was he sick?
He wasn't sick. I can't say it's surprising because he was 30 years older than I am, so...
He was 70-something.
He was 71, so it was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen that soon, but it was part of our relationship from the beginning that most likely that I would live part of my life alone without him. But it was still a shock, and it happened suddenly. He was in great health, which is nice for him. I'm glad that he didn't get sick. I don't think he would have done it very well.
Was it a heart attack?
Yeah, it was a massive heart failure, and he used to, when we'd watch movies and a man would grab his chest and fall dead, and he used to say, "Lucky son of a gun," or something to that effect. So it was kind of strange that that's what happened to him.
John Derek, arguably the handsomest man in Hollywood, had a lot of movie roles, and then suddenly went into this sort of, the beard, marrying you, directing. Did he go through a life change?
He went through quite a few. He was an interesting man, and I think an artist at heart, and a lot of rebellion in him, and I think that he went through quite a few changes, and I experienced, even my time with him, I experienced a few.
Pretty good eye for beauty, didn't he?
Definitely.
I mean, his previous, what, Ursula Andress he was married to?
Ursula Andress, Linda Evans, Patty Bears was his first wife, and he saw differently than the rest of us. He really did. His eye saw light and shadow, and he was a great photographer and cinematographer, and it's because he had this eye for beauty.
You were how old when you met?
16.
Well, did you flip right away?
No, he scared me to death. I mean, I obviously knew he was attractive. He was very attractive. My mother, when I got the call to go meet him to act in one of his films, I told my mother who I was meeting, and she got very excited. And I said, "Well, who's John Derek?" And she was telling me how handsome he was, so I did agree with that, but he was very intimidating, very intense.
That movie, that trial movie he did with Humphrey Bogart, I guess,
yes,
was one of the great movie impact movies of all time.
It did. It represented a time, and it was one of the first times that an anti-hero became the hero, yeah, and a man on death row became a hero. Hollywood hadn't done that yet. Whenever
we saw you'd come on the show, you'd talk about puttering around the house. Was it a very good marriage?
Yes, it was fantastic. I don't think any of us, the people who knew us, John and I, we didn't think it would last. So it was really day to day. There were so many things going against it. First of all, 30 years age difference. I can be very lazy and just enjoy myself. And John is very intense and motivated, and we really were opposites in many ways. So 25 years later, it was obviously meant to be.
Right. Why did it work with the age difference?
I have no idea. It was tough. It wasn't light in the beginning. It was dark and moody sometimes, but that's because that's the way he was.
And he was more set in his ways than you, one would imagine?
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So you had to accommodate more than he did.
But I wasn't a thing that had to accommodate. I was so young that I hadn't really made myself, informed myself, and decided what I would be. And then, from then on, all my experiences were with him. So
after the movie, did you fall in love with, what age did you fall in love with him?
17. So I turned 17 on this film we went to make in Greece. And, but I can't say it was overnight love. It was just an attraction, and he was fascinating to me, and I just wanted to spend all my time with him.
Now, you burst on the scene with 10. In fact, 10, the term 10 symbolizes you.
Well, that's what Blake Edwards wrote and directed as a very popular film, and I played that part.
We never used the word 10 to that film, right? 10 then became part of, was it part of the nomenclature before? I don't know.
Yes, to judge things on a scale of 1 to 10, I think was. Yeah, you could amount in anything you could judge on a scale of 10.
As a 10, a girl is a 10, you are a 10. Let's show what made that impact. Here's a scene from the now historic 10. Ten was nominated as one of the funniest movies of all time for the American Film Institute's 100 Years, 100 Laughs, and AFI's 100 Years, 100 Laughs reveals the 100 films in a television special on June 23rd, the 100 funniest films it's included. What do you hear from Dudley?
I saw him a few weeks ago, and it was good to see him. It was a gathering of a lot of his friends, and he seemed very happy.
It is, that disease is regressive, though, right? I mean, he will not get better.
Not from what I understand.
What was he like to work with?
Fantastic. You know, we both went through a life-changing experience on that film. Dudley was much more known than I was, but still, I don't think either one of us expected that it would have this kind of impact and change our lives the way it did.
He came from the Broadway stage, from
English and English comedy. Yeah.
But it worked, didn't it? Once you finished, did you think it would work as well as it worked? No?
I had no idea. Nobody called me or was interested in me, although I'm only in the film about 10 minutes. It's very short. And so, but I heard no buzz, no nothing. And then it just opened and it was huge.
Back with more of Bo Derek, lots to talk about, and your phone calls as well on this edition of Larry King Live. Tomorrow night on Larry King Weekend, an hour with Paul Anka. And a very important show Monday night when Duke of Doonesbury may announce for president on this show. There'll be a major panel discussion following it. Duke of Doonesbury, Monday night, an exclusive. Back with more of Bo after this.
So they're gonna serve lunch later, huh? You know, that's what I heard.
There are much better ways to get business insight. Next time, ask your CPA. CPAs never underestimate the value.
Say, what's in those jars?
Pickled eggs, pig's feet, other things.
People eat those? Is that what I think it is?
Some things we may never understand. Some things we should. At ReliaStar, we help you understand the complex world of investments and insurance so you can make the right financial choices. ReliaStar.
When you're in love, personal space is never an issue. At United Airlines, we realize not everyone's in love. Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
Try Quiznos mesquite chicken with bacon sub. Tender, all-white chicken strips, bacon, cheddar cheese, tomato, onion, and cool ranch dressing, all warm from the oven. Quiznos. Toasted tastes better.
Where do you find leading technology? Experienced traders, all working to help you get the best price. Knight, the world's leading market maker, where the trade gets done.
Our guest is Bo Derek. What's it like being on your own for the first time? I guess this, what, you 17, you got married, now you're, what's it like?
I don't like it. Not that I'm out looking for anyone, but it's something that I have no experience in. And
you've never dated?
I've never dated. I have no experience. It's terrible. And I'm scared to death of it, too, at the same time.
You sold the house?
I sold the ranch last year, and I'm now living with my sister and her family in the same area. And it's nice. I've never had to go home to an empty house, which is really good.
And you've been to Europe and ride horses? You still ride horses? You still a horse freak?
Exactly. You
No other way
described
to
it
term it.
perfectly.
You are
No,
a horse freak.
I was born that way. Even though I grew up surfing and sailing in Southern California, I was born horse crazy.
How many horses you own?
Now, about 9.
You used to have a lot at one time, right?
I used to have a lot more. I used to breed and have a big horse farm. And I'm just getting another one. I just got in Portugal, so I have another one coming.
You ride for fun, though, right? You don't show horses or train horses. You
No, I don't. And even breeding, I didn't like breeding because people didn't appreciate what I created enough, so it made me angry.
We can get a jump on the tabloids here and reveal something.
What?
You went on a date, a first date. We can tell a poke about it and get through it.
You know, this is new to me, too, because normally I'm so candid and open about my private life because I was with John for all those years, and so now I don't know whether I'm supposed to talk about it
What's
or
the difference? You only had one date since his death?
Well, yes, it was, yes, sort of a date.
Sort of, but you haven't dated for, you didn't date for how long? Over a
No,
year?
I haven't, yes, he died almost 2 years ago and I haven't
Was
had
this a
date.
mourning period or a decision or what?
No, I never, in mourning I didn't decide to do anything except I really worked hard not to feel sorry for myself. But otherwise, everything else, I just took whatever feelings I had and I didn't design it at all.
All right, you went out with Prince Albert,
Oh, gee.
right? Okay, no, let's tell him. Who cares?
Okay, it's everybody's going to
He's
know.
single?
Anyway, it
He's
wasn't
single?
exactly a private date either.
He's
so-
single, you're single, you went to a public place, right?
Yeah.
Were you what was it like?
I have to say it was really fun walking in. I
To
mean,
a
to
restaurant.
walk into a restaurant and a nightclub with him was hilarious. The food was falling out of people's mouths. It was fantastic.
Did you have fun? Was it
I
tough?
did.
Really?
And
That's
it's
interesting.
wonderful. And here I'm a little girl from Southern California going out with a prince. I mean, my life is really pretty good, I have to say.
Was he nice?
Very nice.
You think John would have dug that?
No. No.
Are you
I
now-
think he wanted me to jump off a bridge or something when he left.
Are you now going to date again? Do you want to remarry?
No, I can't even imagine it. But I assume it will happen because most people do. But I'm not out looking and I feel a void in that I'm alone. But I'm content that way.
The difficulty is the impact he made on your life makes it difficult to follow someone like that.
I don't even know that. It's just he was my adult life. And he took a lot of work and a lot of time. It was not easy, you know. So now I have all this free time, and so I'm concentrating on working and things like
You
that.
never wanted children?
I thought I did, and then when it came time, you know, my clock was ticking, and I thought, okay, now it's time I should get around to doing this. Then I thought I really didn't necessarily have that drive and that desire to have a child that I think you should have. And I wasn't ready to make the commitment.
You're still very young, though. I mean, you're 43. You could have a child now, couldn't you? I mean, if you met Mr. Right.
I'm living with my sister and her children. They take a lot of energy. I don't know.
Aren't your friends starting to fix you up now? Isn't it? Bo, have I got a guy for you?
I am such a project.
You are.
I mean, I really, if I'm
You're not
invited...
going to have a tough time. Come, Ma.
No, but I'm a project. Everybody wants to, you know, be the one to fix me up, and it's a strange situation I'm in.
Who arranged the Prince Albert date?
Prince Albert.
Oh, he called.
Yes.
That's chutzpah, right? They get right to it.
No, it was casual. It wasn't like a date or anything.
But you went out
Yes,
together, went
yes,
to a
yes.
restaurant. People spit their food out, right? Do you like?
I don't like my life. No.
For a long time, you were the fodder, if that's the word, of tabloid. Like they put you with Congressman David Dreyer from here in Southern California.
At least him I know.
Him I know too.
Yes.
He dated my sister-in-law. In fact.
Oh, yes?
Yes, nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. No, I've known him a few years, and I like him very much.
Paul McCartney.
Never met him.
That was in the tabloids.
Of course, so it must be true. But I have never met him. But we're having a wild affair, I guess.
Have you been in the Malott?
In the
tabloids.
Yes,
right?
every week I have a new lover, and I'm cheating on one with another, and it gets very complicated. But it's interesting because when I was with John, we were one of the few married couples who didn't have that happen to us. So it's kind of nice.
No, you never had.
They
an
never,
infidelity, so they
you
never
know, we
bugged
were
you.
called a lot of names, and they didn't like our relationship, meaning that mainly the journalists. But that part was never.
He was dubbed the Svengali, was he not?
Yes.
Was that fair or not?
No, it wasn't fair. Because in reality, he didn't want any of us to work, meaning his wives. Ursula didn't work when she was with him. Linda didn't. You know, she was a star.
But you did
before. I did some. Mainly, he really never felt that he could tell me not to do them, but he should, and certainly made it uncomfortable.
As we go to break, here's a scene from the movie Tommy Boy. Watch.
Holy shnikes.
Is that for me?
No, son, that's for me.
Oh, man. Dad, she's like a 10.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hi.
This must be Tommy. Are you Tommy?
I'm Tommy.
I'm Beverly, and you are just adorable.
Wood, leather, adrenaline. The new Lincoln LS, Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Book your flight on Trip.com before March 31st, and you'll pay for this. And you'll get this. Triple miles from Trip.com. Book your flight by March 31st, and you'll get triple reward trip miles for every $1 you spend on airline tickets. Visit www.trip.com and book your flight today. Trip.com. Simply brilliant.
Today, millions of people are living fuller lives. Free to go and do whatever they please, whenever they please. All because of the extra protection they get from Depend. Leading store brands are 50% more likely to leak than Depend. So get Depend and get all the confidence you need to live life to the fullest.
Get all you want out of life with Depend.
At 25, I wanted to make vice president. At 35, I wanted to make my first million. At 45, I wanted to make enough to buy the company. Now all I want is to make it around this track 0.2 of a second faster.
At Lincoln Financial Group, we provide clear, understandable, customized solutions to help you manage, protect, and enjoy the work of a lifetime. Lincoln Financial Group. Clear solutions in a complex world.
You'll get the chance to talk with Bo Derek at the bottom of the hour. She's our guest for the full hour. Tommy Boy, you worked with Chris Farley.
Yes.
What was that like?
He was adorable. He was so much fun. Again, it was his break into movies, and to see that happen for him was really nice, and I was very happy for him. He was so talented. He was so sweet.
Sad, huh? He killed himself in a sense, didn't he? I mean,
I have to say, when I heard the news, someone called, and it wasn't a surprise. He seemed to have a self-destructive streak in him, and that I thought I saw when we were working.
But he was an extraordinary talent.
Amazing.
He also worked with Brian Dennehy, who's now become one of the major actors after Death of a Salesman.
Yes, but that was the second time we worked together, because we worked together on 10. He was the bartender.
That's right, he was in 10.
Yes.
Have you been annoyed by the fact that you've taken so much kidding over the years? People always had fun that you weren't an actress, that this was all some sort of sham.
Well, they weren't exactly wrong.
Well, you are so honest, Bo. In other words, what you're telling us now is you weren't an actress, were you,
No, but I
Bo?
wasn't. I never studied. I never tried. When I did 10, I didn't even have an agent. So Blake was looking for a pretty girl. Someone told him that John was, I don't even think, yes, we were married, that John's wife was pretty. So I got a call. I went in and met him, and all of a sudden I had the part, and then I had Hollywood. It was basically given to me, whatever I wanted to do. And I have to say that although I'm taking my profession very seriously now, it was never required of me either.
Did anyone say, let's go for drama lessons?
Yes, but
why?
Why? I was working and making a lot of money, and I didn't have to. So.
You had it too good, right? I mean, you
Way
didn't
too
need
good,
it.
way too good. I have to say, I really felt guilty sometimes. You know, you go into restaurants and these people are, these waiters or taxi drivers, and they're working so hard and they study so hard, and here I was just given it, and I didn't even ask for it.
Here's an example. You showed off a lot of things in her movies. Bolero, made in 1984, showcased her writing. Watch.
Perfect example.
That's right. No dramatic lessons.
I fell in love with horses, and everyone wanted to make a film with me, and so I said, oh, let's go make one about Spanish horses, because I like them so much.
You didn't mind the kidding because you accepted it as fact? Or did you mind it?
Well, no, because sometimes I think I did decent work, but...
I mean, they had a field day with you, right? Critics had fun.
They did, and that didn't bother me so much. Mainly it was when they got so personal with John and our relationship and had nothing to do with the movie. And they'd write about scenes that don't even take place in the movies. They just made them up. Like in Tarzan, one of the big, I can't remember who it was, a big reviewer said that we did the plane crash so badly. There's no plane crash in our film. I mean, there isn't one. That was in Tarzan Has Boy or something, another Tarzan movie. So they're reviewing an old movie they knew we were remaking, they just had the wrong one. Those things really were unfair, really made me mad.
Tarzan Has Boy, it's funny. What is Hollywood Fashion Machine on AMC?
It's fun. I've really enjoyed it. I host a documentary series for AMC, and it's all about the history of Hollywood fashion and style and its influence in fashion.
So it discussed fashion through the years, how it changed?
Through the years, so it's all the old movie clips, interviews with, you know, a lot of people that made fashion history. It doesn't seem that important, but it really does influence our life. And I never realized how much influence fashion had. I mean, Hollywood had on fashion to begin with.
Here's a sample of, as we go to break, of Bo hosting Hollywood Fashion Machine, seen on AMC. Watch.
Elizabeth Taylor has reinvented herself and her image time and time again. The results have often helped redefine modern fashion. She would help create the ultra-hip look of the swinging 60s.
Is the municipal bond market appropriate to your risk level?
It is decidedly so.
What about emerging market funds?
Signs point to yes.
What PE range are you looking for in securities?
Ask again later.
Excuse me?
My sources say no.
Stop guessing. Come to the new H&R Block Financial Centers, where we speak your language.
I want it to be a new way of looking at things.
I want it to be larger than life.
I want it to be a customer magnet.
I want it to be the second industrial revolution.
It should transport me wherever I want to go and take me back to where I came from.
I wanted to level the playing field.
Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet to be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
A cash cow. Come together right now over me.
We're back with Bo Derek. It's fair to ask, why didn't you capitalize on your career when you really were hot? You were hot after 10. Must have been a lot of offers.
There were a lot of offers. But, you know, it's kind of fun to turn down money, too. And I think that I got
You're a little weird, Bo. You realize it. With the horses, with the whole approach to life, with everything. It's fun to turn down money.
It is. There's something, and I also, well, that I got from John, though. And my father, and my family is the same way. I mean, we really had a sense of fun, and John had this thing about money that he must have prostituted himself somehow if you had lots of it. And it was just a lot more fun to stay at the ranch, ride my horses, or go make our own little independent films.
So you were no regrets over not capitalizing on it?
No,
It was your own
absolutely not.
decision, you could have.
And even the money, I mean, it was outrageous money. Outrageous, so it was completely unreal to me and where I came from in life.
Did you turn down anything you shouldn't have?
No, no,
So there's no regrets at all?
no.
How about now? You're what, 43, right?
Yes.
Do you get calls now?
I do, not as many, but I do.
'Cause we have
My opportunities are still vast and fantastic.
They are. You could work all the time if you wanted to.
Yes.
Doing both movies and miniseries on television, right?
Yeah, as I said, it's not as easy as it was, and all these young executives, you know, they don't even. They're
Know
babies. They're babies.
You know, what's it like to deal with them? You go in to meet one of the 28-year-old suits.
I feel like a dinosaur. Like an
Really?
absolute dinosaur. I remember when I was doing that scene with Tommy Boy coming out in the bathing suit. It was my first day's work, and I was very nervous. And there was these young kids, like college-age kids, standing over on the side, and they were sort of in my eye line, and I was feeling a little nervous. And I said, you know, do you think they could move? And they said, oh, yes, but those are the Paramount executives. And one of them was the granddaughter of the man who ran the studio when I was producing Tarzan. So those kind of things are very strange.
And how do they treat you?
Well.
Sort of like
But they're
motherly?
No, not quite motherly, but
can't
they're
keep it
definitely
motherly.
a different generation, you know.
Well, you're wearing a very interesting piece, and I have to ask about it. What is this? Can we get a close-up of this, because it's...
John made me this years ago, and it's out of bone, and it's a picture frame.
Out of bone?
Yeah.
You have a picture in there of...
Of my,
One of your
it's upside
horses.
down, yes.
Okay.
My,
Oh, yeah, there.
my stallion.
He made it for you, John?
Uh-huh. He was very talented. He made saddles and boots.
He would do things like that, huh?
Yeah.
Do you miss him?
Yes, all the time, but I'm not the kind to dwell on things that I have no control over, so I think right away I just picked myself up and got on with life. I mean, for me, I'm very black and white. I either jump off the cliff and don't deal with it, or I get on with it.
We're going to take some calls after the break. You did work with Rob Lowe, did you not?
Yes, I did, on Tommy Boy.
And now he's kind of resurrected his career, and West Wing has brought him back. He's had some problems.
I'm so happy for him. He's so talented. He's become a good friend, too, he and his wife, Cheryl. And so I'm really happy for them.
Now tell me about your new film, Frozen with Fear. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You forgot you made this. Oh, you really... Oh.
No, I was very serious on this picture. No, it was a film, but it was called something else.
Oh, they changed the title.
I suppose this is a film I made in Canada in December, and that this is the new title.
I see. What was the working title?
Jack Mize.
Now
So
it's
see, how would I know? How would I
Who's in
put
it
those
with
two
you?
together? Stephen Shellen and Wayne Rogers.
And it's coming... Oh, Wayne, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And you know when it's coming out?
No.
But anyway, so we're both surprised at this.
I'm very surprised.
Here's Bo Derek in the soon-to-be-released Frozen with Fear.
I haven't seen this.
Catherine?
She's not in the living room.
She's not in here either.
Kath, put those down.
You two won't get away with this.
Get away with what?
What is this conspiracy that you insist on seeing?
You stay right there. The earring proves it.
Proves what?
I never saw it
The
before.
first one I found in Charles's dry cleaning.
But it's not mine.
It fell out of your purse.
Charles is the one who found it. He picked it up off the floor.
Don't listen to anything she says. She's out of her mind.
I am not out of my mind.
Saturday on Evans Novak Hunting Field, Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott of Mississippi. Saturday at 5:30 Eastern on CNN.
If you're in business and looking to expand, we'd like to show you the future. A place where 1,500 global players are already up and running. Where highly skilled workers are available and wage competitive. Where basic business costs are the lowest among the G7. Where the UN ranks quality of life #1 in the world. And where we want your business. Ontario, Canada. Call now and find out why we say the future's right here.
Doug gave it to Madeline. Edith gave it to Walter and Roy. Richard gave it to Earl. Dr. Marsh gave it to his patients. It's Juno, the easy way for everyone to get online, whether you want completely free internet access or premium service. Juno offers both. Juno, everybody's getting it. Just call 1-800-TRY-JUNO to get your free software today.
CNN, America's campaign headquarters.
We're back with Bo Derek, one of the few people that you only have to say the first name. Let's take some calls. For Bo Derek, if you'd like to talk with her, just call right in. Los Angeles, hello.
Bo, hi. I am a huge fan. I think you're absolutely beautiful, inside and out.
Thank you.
And my question to you is, how do you manage to stay so entirely beautiful? What's your beauty regimen?
Thank you. I don't really have one.
You have none?
No, I don't go in the sun anymore. I had a whole lifetime exposure to sun before I was 16, but that's about it.
No surgery?
No, and I hate to exercise, so I don't do much of that, and I have a good metabolism, and I try to just stay active and go outdoors as much as possible.
Good genes?
Yeah, I mean, and I'd rather clean house than go to the gym, so I keep myself busy.
Do you have special skin preparations?
No.
Do you at
No.
night take an hour and a half before you go to sleep?
Oh, goodness, no.
Creams and all? No.
No.
This is just it?
Yes.
Your mother looked like this too?
Uh-huh. My mother and my father.
One look at Bo would have a lot of guys grinning, but in 1981, she had to teach Tarzan, the ape man, how to smile. Watch.
Let me show you how to smile. Oh, you think I'm gonna hurt you? There's no way I could hurt you. Come on. Here we go. Now don't stop me. There. That's a smile.
We're back. Was that fun to do?
Tarzan was great. That was my first big production.
Who was Tarzan?
A young man named Miles O'Keefe.
Nice guy?
Very nice.
To Booth Bay Harbor, Maine, for Bo Derek. Hello.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Bo. I lost my husband, John, when I was 49 last year of a heart attack also. And I'm inspired by you and admire how you're going on. Recently, I saw you on a morning talk show in which they showed a clip of you and John. When they asked him that if you became no longer beautiful, would he stay with you? And he didn't answer. And I was a little offended by that question for you, and I wondered how you felt about it.
Well, if you had heard the rest of his answer, well, he was ridiculously honest. I mean, you said I'm honest. He was honest. Sometimes it was painful. He was being honest, and I would have been shocked if he said anything else. The rest of his answer was that he didn't know whether he would still love me. He didn't know whether I would be the same person, because maybe part of who I am is because of what I look like, the way people have responded to me throughout my life and things like that. So the answer was quite long.
You weren't hurt by the answer?
No, I knew him. I knew he was that way.
What do you think?
What do I think what?
If you lost your beauty, would he have stayed?
I really don't know. I really don't know. And would I be the same person? I don't know. I've had a very blessed life. I've had nothing to do with it. It just kept coming to me. So would I be the same person? I've been very lucky. I think I haven't had a lot of bitterness and some of the painful experiences that people have had.
We know about the pluses of obviously being beautiful. What are the minuses?
None. I guess if you are really concerned about people, I mean, I'm blonde too on top of it. If you're a brunette, you're treated a little differently.
Blonde?
I'm naturally blonde. So that also has an association with being stupid. I've always been fine with my intelligence, whatever it is, and I'm able to do what I want to do, and I have enough to carry me throughout life. So I haven't been paranoid about that.
When you look in the mirror, do you know you're very pretty?
I know my nose is straight. I know I have good days. I know I have bad days. But I know at the same time, if this was 200 years ago, I would have been considered scrawny and unattractive. It's fashionable right now.
That's right. Rembrandt wouldn't have painted you.
Absolutely not.
Los Angeles, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
This is for Bo. Bo, this is Nancy Gunther,
Yes?
your old junior high art teacher.
Oh, my gosh.
You taught her art in, what school was that?
In Stephen White Junior High. My husband taught her science.
Yeah, two of my good subjects.
No, I wanted just to tell you that we have been so proud of you as a human being, what you've done with your life, and I got so angry in those years when they were accusing you of ridiculing you, and I knew that you were a bright person and a sensitive girl, and she was mature beyond her years and just as beautiful at 14 as she is now. She's just, I'm so proud of her.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
What kind of student was she?
She was a good student. She was mature. Believe it or not, and I don't know if she remembers this or not, but she was one of the best drawers with a pencil.
No, you have the wrong person.
No, I do not.
Yes.
And do you remember helping in the yearbook when we had to sort out all the pictures?
No. But as you know, I was absent a lot. If surf was up, I didn't go to school.
You were a real California kid, weren't you? I mean, surf was up, you didn't go to school.
Yes, and you know, it was a time when it wasn't safe to hitchhike, but we did it a lot.
Didn't you date in high school?
Not much.
No?
Not much. I was very athletic, very into sports, and so, dating took a lot of time away from that, and I just, not very much.
Thanks for calling, Teach. What high school did you go to?
Well, I didn't finish, but I went to Narbonne.
You quit high school?
Yes, but I met John and went off to Greece to make a film. And then we lived in Europe for years, so I got a fabulous education.
You know, Bo?
What?
Aside from his death, what was the toughest period of your life? You're going to tell me none.
Yes, I am. I am,
none.
and I'm very, very much.
The answer
yes,
is
we
none.
can. It's all relative. I mean, we can all start feeling sorry for ourselves
I know,
at time and
but
get
his
depressed.
death aside.
Yeah, no, and I have to compare my life with other people. I always do that. I refuse to feel sorry for myself because I know how lucky I am. I travel, I see the world. I know how, just being an American, how lucky we are in life. So I pretty much go through my life with that attitude as well.
So you have felt lucky all your life?
Yes. It's very easy to look around and
So
see
you
how
had
lucky.
nothing to do with how you look? Nothing to do with where you were born?
Yes, and I was born, my family is good and happy and no bad secrets and no abuse or anything like that. Yes, there was just a divorce, but that just meant Dad went and got a beach house, so that was good. And
Did your father remarry?
Yes.
Did you like your stepmother?
Very much.
Did your mother remarry?
Yes, and I love my stepfather. So you see, I could have, like many people, taken all these and made them into tragedies, but that's not the way I was brought up.
Are you very spiritual?
No, not at all.
You are a riot. We'll be right back with Bo Derek, but there will not be a benefit for her. You need not send donations. Don't go away.
With 1.3 billion people, China is the world's largest marketplace. A new trade agreement opens China's markets to our goods and services, their culture to our democratic values, and it forces China to play by the rules. But isolationists want to slam the door on China, abandoning it to foreign competitors. Now Congress must choose isolation or engagement. Tell Congress, vote yes on trade with China.
To me and the R&D team at International Paper, looks are just as important as content. So when an ice cream carton maker came to us for help, we created a container that's strong enough to make it from the dairy to your home. And the printing surface makes the ice cream look as good as it tastes.
Now remember, Daddy, save room for dinner.
How can we help your product look better? International Paper. From innovation to results.
I'm worried about Bill. Taxes. I think he might need professional help.
Now an easy, secure way to do your taxes online. Just $9.95 at hrblock.com.
When you're in love, personal space is never an issue.
At United Airlines, we realize not everyone's in love. Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
We're back with Bo Derek. Before we go back to the calls, is it true that you and John couldn't come back into this country because he was traveling overseas and you were underage?
Yes.
They prevent.
That,
well, he would
that's
have been
very
arrested or
romantic.
something?
Yes, because I was underage. So
Under
that's,
18, you mean?
Yes, so if anybody could make a complaint, and then it's statutory rape contributing to the delinquency of a minor in the Slave Act.
The Mann Act. Yeah,
the Mann Act, yeah.
Across state lines for the purpose of...
Yes.
So what, do you have to wait till you were 18?
Well, we didn't. We ran out of money. So actually, he stayed on Tijuana where it was cheap to live, and I came across and stayed with my family, came across the border and left him there, which was kind of fun, actually, when he thought it was, he liked it, I think.
You hadn't been married yet, right?
No, we hadn't been married yet, so I came back to sort of see if it was, if the climate was all right.
Clear.
Yes, for him to come.
Levittown, Pennsylvania, for Bo Derek. Hello.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Bo.
Hi.
I have a question for you. I'm in my mid-40s. There's been a lot of talk on TV lately about the younger woman and the older man, that they're looking for the father figure. But I'm an older woman and I'm dating a younger man, and I just wonder what your opinion was on that subject, on an older woman dating a younger man.
Did you date a younger man?
Yes.
You have any
Yes, I think
thoughts on
so. I know. I think that time tells whether it's love, whether it's infatuation, and whatever it is, it's fine. I mean, if you enjoy each other's company and whatever the attraction is, go for it. I mean, it's hard. It's difficult to find somebody you love. It doesn't happen all the time.
No. So if you got involved with someone when he was 30 or 32, that'd be fine.
I assume.
You don't know, of course.
I
But
don't
if you
know,
fell in
but
love, age
yes,
would
if you
not
fall
be-
in love, there's nothing you can do about it, and you should follow it anyway.
Norfolk, Virginia. Hello.
Hi, Bo. How you doing?
Hi.
Just wanted to say that you're such a natural beauty, and you don't see that much, in any movie stars anymore with all this plastic surgery going around.
Thank you.
And I have two questions, actually. One was, what made John such a ladies' man that women flocked to him so much, all the beautiful women? And my second question was, is Bo your real first name?
Okay, the first one...
Two good questions.
Two good questions. John, really, when he loved, he loved. I mean, you were his life. And I've not experienced anything else, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy anything but that.
Did a lot of women come on with him?
Oh, yes, all the time. But he never gave me reason to feel jealous. And then at the same time, I inherited 2 of his other wives in the family. And
Oh, they were with you?
Ursula, Andres, not at the same time, but they were still, they were still very much in his life, and now they're very much in mine. We all became very good friends.
But he wasn't involved with them physically?
Not physically, but certainly as there was still strong love, and they're still part of my family, Linda and Ursula both.
Close friends?
Really close.
And Bo, the name?
Bo, the name, no. I was living in Europe. My hair had been dyed dark for this film I was doing in Greece, and I just felt that I needed a name more sophisticated than Kathy, which was my name. And I tried a bunch of different names, and
But
I
in
liked
Ken, was Ken your first movie?
No, I did a film I did a film with John called Once Upon a Time when I was 17.
Can you use Kathy in that or Bo?
Mary Kathleen, and then I did, yes, and then I was Bo from then on.
How did you pick Bo?
I just tried a bunch of different names, and I liked it, and you couldn't say, I hated the way people said Kathy. So Bo, you can't really do too much with it.
What was your maiden name?
Collins.
Were you Bo Collins, or did you become Bo when you were Derek?
Bo before Derek, and then when John and I got married, I really liked Bo Derek. I liked the sound.
How did your parents get along with John? They were the same age, right?
Yes, actually, he was older than they were by a couple of years. It was tough for them, I know. But they taught me always to do what I felt was right in my heart. I don't think they ever expected anything like this to happen, but they had to live by what they had taught me. So it was tough.
Did they get a lot of kidding from their friends, do you think, or did they ever tell you?
I don't think they got kidding.
Ribbing?
I don't think ribbing, I think concern from their friends.
Genuine concern.
Genuine concern.
Yeah,
and it must be scary. See, at the time you're young, you go through it, you don't realize how weird this is.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah,
That's
at
weird.
17.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters and a brother, and we're all very close.
Older or younger?
Younger. I'm the oldest one.
How did they feel about John Derek and you?
I was 17, so they were very young. And he was fun. I know that he used to shoot bow and arrow and guns and whips and all those things, and my family would come up, and my sisters would hold the balloons so he could shoot bows and shoot arrows at them, and it was play. So he was fun to them, I think.
Our guest is Bo Derek. We'll be back with more phone calls. Tomorrow night, Paul Anka. And on Monday night, a major announcement from Duke of Doonesbury. He could throw his hat into the presidential ring Monday. Don't be surprised. It's an extraordinary telecast coming Monday night with a panel of experts discussing it, including Bill Maher and Al Franken. Get this, Monday night. Here's a scene, Bo Derek in A Change of Seasons. Watch.
Never intended to leave her, did you? I was just a fling.
Oh.
She was for keeps.
Come on in. Easy. Come on.
Adam, I don't like sharing.
What are you talking about? This is how this whole thing started. All right, so you don't like sharing. She didn't like sharing. But this is how it's... See, I happen to like sharing.
Well, if you like sharing so much, Adam, think about this. You're going to love sharing your wife with my father.
Lindsay, look. Come
I love you, Adam.
In the dream, you are moving toward a horizon. And when you arrive there, you find wondrous things. A world filled with elegance and grace. With clean lines and unassuming beauty. Where the dream meets reality is just on the horizon. Introducing Horizons by Ethan Allen. Furniture that's as tastefully priced as it is designed. There's a sale on now.
At 3,000 meters under the sea, we can process oil with an amazing use of technology. And the best part is, it works without disturbing the neighbors. ABB, brain power.
After the creation of mankind, there was wonder about the enormity of human potential. Perhaps it should be buried in the oceans, or hidden on the mountaintops, or set adrift in space. Then it was finally understood. All that enormous potential was placed inside each of us, because it wouldn't occur to us to look there.
Manpower. We find the best in everyone and put it to work.
What do we got?
Straight line.
Give me 300 now. Clear.
There's a better way to toast us up. Quiznos oven-baked classics.
Think all termite control companies are the same? Think twice. Some treat your problem only one way. But Orkin doesn't stop here. While others call it a day, Orkin goes one step further with targeted liquid as necessary, creating a second barrier for double protection. Targeted treatments to kill the termites you have now, baits to help keep them from coming back later. Guaranteed. For double protection, call Orkin today.
That was one of our favorite people in A Change of Seasons, Anthony Hopkins.
Yes. I've worked with some amazing people, and then when you work with them, you get to know them.
He's a great guy, right?
Oh,
They don't come a lot better than him.
Wonderful. And the film had some problems. You know, we had a director replaced and things like that, which are really tough on a film. And so we went through a lot together.
Have you remained friends?
Yes. I don't see him very often, but I saw him recently, and it was nice to see him. And I'm so happy with what's happened.
Boy. Omaha, Nebraska for Bo Derek. Hello.
Hi, Larry. Love your show.
Thank you.
Bo, I have a question for you. And back when you put out the movie 10, and after the movie Tarzan, you produced a calendar for us. And we haven't seen one from you since then. Are we going to see one of those from you sometime in the near future?
Was it a good calendar, sir?
Outtakes from the movie Tarzan and the movie 10. I have both calendars downstairs in my safe right now. And
You're safe.
And you're safe?
Wow.
Gonna do another calendar?
I can't imagine doing another calendar.
Why? You don't think you look good?
Calendars are for young girls.
Young girls to do them, and young
yes.
boys to buy them.
Well, and young girls to do them. I don't think I could, oof. Would I have to get in shape?
You're not in shape?
No.
How about working nude?
You know, I've never had a problem with nudity because growing up on the beaches, I always thought it was kind of hypocritical that you could go around and be vulgar, but as long as you had 3 little spots covered, it was okay. And I've always had a more European approach to that, I guess. So nudity is not a problem. Vulgarity and cheapness has been a problem for me. So nudity, no. But it's not so easy anymore, you know,
No,
as when you're 20.
Are you still asked to ever work nude now?
Uh-huh.
You are. And you would if the part were right? Well, there's no, in other words, you wouldn't like cursing and stuff like that. You don't like that kind of thing. You don't like things.
It all depends. Obviously, it depends on the picture, who's making it, the script, but just gratuitous scenes. And they are an element, especially in independent films. It's like you have to have a car chase, you have to have a love scene, and they're the most boring, mathematical. You know, you have to have this, the positions and everything. And it's
Marcello Mastroianni told me that the least turn-on scene to do is a nude love scene.
Oh, yes, it's
because
terrible.
it's all camera positioning, there's 500
Yes.
people around, right?
Although, I can't say yes. For some of us, it is the hardest, but some really enjoy it, I think.
Are you including yourself?
No.
No? Did John get jealous if you did a nude scene?
No, most of my films, John was directed, so obviously not.
Didn't bother him?
No.
Was he a control figure?
Oh, yes. Especially if it was his film, he was God. And that's the only way he liked. But, you know, there used to be all these reports that John would come on the set if I was making a film for someone else and disrupt the shooting. He would never go on someone else's set. I mean, if he wasn't the God on the set, he didn't want to play. He didn't want to come.
Back with our remaining moments with Bo Derek after this.
Finance underground. Janice is down here, checking up on a potential investment. A communications company that says they've laid more cable than their competitors. They look great on paper, but Janice gets beneath the surface, goes down and counts cable. They do have the most. They're ready to grow. Fast. Just what Janice was digging for. So what's up with your money? Get there. Janice Mutual Funds.
The new fiber optic network.
These guys don't know what they're talking about, Mr. Clavin. I'll tell you who does. Williams Communications. Williams has been building telecom success stories for 15 years. And now, data, voice, video, private label IP, anything. Everything our customers need. Their network is so on top of it, they put a camel through a needle's eye. It was a small camel. Took some pushing. Oh, I can imagine the look on its face. A little bit like mine.
Considering how well it handles the elements under the road, it's no surprise that our most advanced 4x4 ever performs so well on the road. Jeep Grand Cherokee. A quadricoil suspension, an advanced steering system. Give it an agile, responsive ride on any surface.
You've done guest shots on Drew Carey?
Yes.
Family Law?
Yes.
Enjoy that?
Very much. I like television. I'm trying to get back to work, so I'm just going through a process.
So what are you looking for now? You want a series? You had a series, Wind on Water, didn't last, right?
No, it didn't. Only 2 weeks. But those are common stories in television, I understand.
What do you want to do?
Just
and
about anything.
You got the Hollywood Fashion Machine on AMC.
Yes.
That's your host.
Yes.
Give me the ideal wish.
A variety of things I'd love to do, from a costume picture to a TV series. I would be happy in any of it. I mean, it's what I'm focused on. That big element in my life is gone. And this is what I do. I really do enjoy being in films and television. So.
And do you think you now, unlike before, now have the talent for it? Do you think you're now good at it?
Yes, and I've even worked with a coach.
Well, that scene with Anthony Hopkins, you looked fine.
You know, there's something that if you can react in films, and I've worked with the greatest actors, so it just happens. What I have to do now is do it on my own.
Anyone you want to work with?
Just about everybody. Just about everybody. I think, who do I want to work? Denzel Washington, I think, is our best actor.
Not bad.
Not bad.
You saw him that night here on the
I tell you, that was my favorite.
You're a Larry King Live freak.
I am a Larry King, well, freak.
What
I'm
a
a big
freak.
fan.
You
Oh, yeah,
watch.
freak. Oh, freak. Always I watch if I'm home. That show, I liked it better than the movie. It was more moving to me. Seeing the real characters, hearing their stories.
And when the judge sat down.
Oh, when the judge sat down, I found it so moving. And it just represented to me sort of the worst in our country and the best at the same time.
Why do you like being other people? Why do you like being an actress?
I think there's a shy side of me and a timid side of me in life. And it's fun to play people and characters and make myself come out of myself.
Do you think, honestly, your looks get in the way? So even if you became a great actress and worked at it, we'd still see 10.
No. No,
You don't
look at
think
all the beauties. Look at all the beauties who are great actresses. No, that would be really dishonest of me to try to use that as an excuse, wouldn't it? It would.
Great beauties who are great actresses?
Yes. Yes.
Great beauties. I mean, 10s.
Oh, you sound like John now.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of I mean, there's some very attractive women, but a great, you know, like a 10 coming out of the water who's a great actress. Maybe historically, yeah. But today, who? Julie Roberts?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, you're terrible.
No, I'm trying to. No, I'm trying.
Okay.
There's some terrifically looking people and wonderful actresses, but I think it's a fair
Michelle
guess.
Pfeiffer is gorgeous.
Michelle Pfeiffer is gorgeous.
Great actress. Never got in
Great.
her way.
No, but a fair guess that you, because you're striking,
Oh, you're so nice. No.
get in the way.
No.
You don't think you do.
No. That would be very artificial.
Are men, do you think, intimidated, hesitant to ask you out? After all, you are Bo Derek.
I don't
Prince
know.
Philip was not intimidated, but he's a prince.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you think just a guy?
Probably.
Yeah. Would you date just a guy?
Yes.
Yeah, you would. A nice guy.
I haven't. Oh my God. Yes,
What? You mean, oh, my
absolutely.
God.
Yes, a nice guy. Yes.
sure
No, I'm
it's
not vetting. I'm not going to vet anyone. No.
You know, you're not eliminating by profession.
No. No.
A log splitter.
It's pretty areas. Yeah. It's pretty up there.
Certainly a horse trainer. Absolutely, right?
Oh
Thanks,
my
Bo.
God.
It's always great seeing you.
Nice to see you again.
Bo Derek, she's hosting Hollywood Fashion Machine on AMC. She's a terrific lady, and as you could tell, quite open and honest. Tomorrow night, an hour with Paul Anka. And on Monday night, Duke of Doonesbury may throw his hat into the presidential ring. Up next is CNN Newsstand, and they're going to discuss a very interesting topic, got a wide display of attention recently. Medical mistakes. I think you'll be surprised. Also, a pretty good look at the world of tennis coming up as well. All ahead on CNN Newsstand. That's the tennis feature is Sunday night as well. Thanks for joining us, and good night.
Patty Bears was his first wife, and he saw differently than the rest of us. He really did. His eye saw light and shadow, and he was a great photographer and cinematographer, and it's because he had this eye for beauty.
You were how old when you met?
16.
Well, did you flip right away?
No, he scared me to death. I mean, I obviously knew he was attractive. He was very attractive. My mother, when I got the call to go meet him to act in one of his films, I told my mother who I was meeting, and she got very excited. And I said, well, who's John Derek? And she was telling me how handsome he was, so I did agree with that. But he was very intimidating, very
That
intense.
movie, that trial movie he did with Humphrey Bogart, I guess,
Yes.
was one of the great movie impact movies of all time.
It did. It represented a time, and it was one of the first times that an anti-hero became the hero, and a man on death row became a hero. Hollywood hadn't done that yet.
Whenever we saw you, you'd come on the show, you'd talk about puttering around the house. Was it a very good marriage?
Yes, it was fantastic. I don't think any of us, the people who knew us, John and I, we didn't think it would last. So it was really day to day. There were so many things going against it. First of all, 30 years age difference. I can be very lazy and just enjoy myself. And John is very intense and motivated, and we really were opposites in many ways. So 25 years later, it was obviously meant to be.
Why did it work with the age difference?
I have no idea. It was tough. It wasn't light in the beginning. It was dark and moody sometimes, but that's because that's the way he was.
And he was more set in his ways than you, one would imagine?
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So you had to accommodate more than he did.
But I wasn't a thing that had to accommodate. I was so young that I hadn't really made myself, informed myself, and decided what I would be. And then, from then on, all my experiences were with him. So
after the movie, did you fall?
Should. At ReliaStar, we help you understand the complex world of investments and insurance, so you can make the right financial choices. ReliaStar.
When you're in love, personal space is never an issue. At United Airlines, we realize not everyone's in love. Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
Try Quiznos mesquite chicken with bacon sub. Tender, all-white chicken strips, bacon, cheddar cheese, tomato, onion, and cool ranch dressing, all warmed from the oven. Quiznos. Toasted tastes better.
Where do you find leading technology? Experienced traders, all working to help you get the best price. Knight, the world's leading market maker, where the trade gets done.
I guess this Bo Derek, what's it like being on your own for the first time? I guess this, what, you 17, you got married, now you're, what's it like?
I don't like it. Not that I'm out looking for anyone, but it's something that I have no experience in. And
you've never dated?
I've never dated. I have no experience. It's terrible. And I'm scared to death of it, too, at the same time.
You sold the house?
I sold the ranch last year, and I'm now living with my sister and her family in the same area. And it's nice. I've never had to go home to an empty house, which is really good.
And you've been to Europe and ride horses? You still ride horses? You still a horse freak?
Exactly. You described it perfectly. No, I was born that way. Even though I grew up surfing and sailing in Southern California, I was born horse crazy.
How many horses you own?
Now?
Tonight, Hollywood hailed her as the perfect 10. Bo Derek, 21 years later, do you believe this? Joins me in L.A. for the full hour. We'll take your calls next on Larry King Live. Good evening. Bo Derek is our special guest tonight. She hosts the Hollywood Fashion Machine on AMC. We'll talk about that and lots of other things. She's our guest for the full hour, and later we'll take your phone calls. We have not talked about it publicly since his death, so let's start with that. John, your late husband, actor, director, would have been, well, it's 2 years now, right? May would have been 2 years. Yes. Was that surprising? Was he sick?
He wasn't sick. I can't say it's surprising because he was 30 years older than I am, so...
he was 70-something.
He was 71, so it was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen that soon, but it was part of our relationship from the beginning that most likely that I would live part of my life alone without him. But it was still a shock, and it happened suddenly. He was in great health, which is nice for him. I'm glad that he didn't get sick. I don't think he would have done it very well.
Was it a heart attack?
Yeah, it was a massive heart failure, and he used to, when we'd watch movies and a man would grab his chest and fall dead, and he used to say, "Lucky son of a gun," or something to that effect. So it was kind of strange that that's what happened to him.
John Derek, arguably the handsomest man in Hollywood, had a lot of movie roles, and then suddenly went into this sort of, the beard, marrying you, directing. Did he go through a life change?
He went through quite a few. He was an interesting man, and I think an artist at heart, and a lot of rebellion in him, and I think that he went through quite a few changes, and I experienced, even my time with him, I experienced a few.
Pretty good eye for beauty, didn't he?
Definitely.
His previous, what, Ursula Andress, he was married?
Ursula Andress, Linda Evans.
What age did you fall in love with him?
17. So I turned 17 on this film we went to make in Greece, and but I can't say it was overnight love. It was just an attraction, and he was fascinating to me, and I just wanted to spend all my time with him.
Now, you burst on the scene with 10. In fact, 10, the term 10 symbolizes you.
Well, that's what Blake Edwards wrote and directed as a very popular film, and I played that part.
We never used the word 10 till that film, right? 10 then became part of, was it part of the nomenclature before? I don't know.
Yes, to judge things on a scale of 1 to 10, I think was. Yeah, you could amount in anything you could judge on a scale of 10.
As a 10, a girl is a 10, you are a 10. Let's show what made that impact. Here's a scene from the now historic 10. Ten was nominated as one of the funniest movies of all time for the American Film Institute's 100 Years, 100 Laughs, and AFI's 100 Years, 100 Laughs reveals the 100 films in a television special on June 23rd, the 100 funniest films. It's included. What do you hear from Dudley?
I saw him a few weeks ago, and it was good to see him. It was a gathering of a lot of his friends, and he seemed very happy.
It is, that disease is regressive, though, right? I mean, he will not get better.
Not from what I understand.
What was he like to work with?
Fantastic. You know, we both went through a life-changing experience on that film. Dudley was much more known than I was, but still, I don't think either one of us expected that it would have this kind of impact and change our lives the way it did.
He came from the Broadway stage, from
English and English comedy, yeah.
But it worked, didn't it? Once you finished, did you think it would work as well as it worked? No?
I had no idea. Nobody called me or was interested in me, although I'm only in the film about 10 minutes. It's very short. And so, but I heard no buzz, no nothing. And then it just opened and it was huge.
Back with more of Bo Derek. Lots to talk about, and your phone calls as well on this edition of Larry King Live. Tomorrow night on Larry King Weekend, an hour with Paul Anka. And a very important show Monday night when Duke of Doonesbury may announce for president on this show. There'll be a major panel discussion following it. Duke of Doonesbury, Monday night, an exclusive. Back with more of Bo after this.
So they're gonna serve lunch later, huh? You know, that's what I heard.
There are much better ways to get business insight. Next time, ask your CPA. CPAs never underestimate the value.
Say, what's in those jars?
Pickled eggs, pig's feet, other things.
People eat those? Is that what I think it is?
Some things we may never understand. Some things we